Hello. Okay, so we have another couple of minutes to start off. So let's just wait, then probably we start. Cool, let's just wait for a minute and then officially start off at 8:34 Indian time. Till that time, whoever has joined, it will be nice if you can just put some messages on the chat box. Okay, hi. Thank you. Thank you for your wishes. This is my first time giving it a tryout. How many of us are on or live? Three of us. Okay, cool. Three of us are live. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Nathan. Cool. I think we can start off. Well, it's my first session, and I have not done a lot of planning. Just thought, let me go live, spend some time, share some thoughts, and in the process, be of some help if it's going to make any difference to anyone. And the topic I chose today is pretty, I would say for me, it's simple. But when I look at people around, the topic of emotions is something that we have approached in a very heavy way. That's something that I've observed. And why do I say this? I've seen that the moment we talk about emotions, the moment we say emotions, it's kind of a heavy topic. When we say emotional, we feel kind of heavy inside. We say, oh, he's very emotional. And what do we mean by that? Whatever the feeling that person is experiencing is kind of heavy. That is the general way we approach emotions. But actually speaking, emotions doesn't mean only that part of the spectrum which has negativity attached to it. Emotions is a wide spectrum. It's a very big range of things starting from something very positive to something very negative as an experience. What are the emotions that we generally experience on a day to day basis? Probably kind of some happiness here and there. We smile, we feel good. There is some irritation that happens, especially when I'm driving and somebody cuts the traffic, or when I'm asking something to a colleague and they're not responding properly, or I was expecting a positive output from an email that I had sent seeking information, but I get some other mail reply which is nowhere related to what I want, and I feel angry. So these are the emotions probably on a day to day basis that we experience. But then something that we have learned since the time we were born or since the time we got maturity is the fact that our emotions are a reaction to what happens around us. I mean, let's go to the oldest memory of emotions. When we were kids, if I fell down, my parents used to get scared. They used to feel, oh my God, what happened to my kid? They would come running to me. And probably since that age, at that time, since that time, I have been starting to associate falling down to something which is not pleasurable, not something which is okay. Because the way parents come running to check what happened, oh my God, that gives me a feeling that something bad happened, something wrong happened. And probably I need to feel scared because my parents got scared. I also felt scared. And that is how I started learning about emotions, how I respond to what happens around. Probably if something didn't happen properly the way it was supposed to happen, I saw people getting angry. I saw people getting frustrated. I saw people shouting at others. And that's when I probably subconsciously took in that if something doesn't go right, I need to get angry. Something doesn't happen the way I want, I need to feel frustrated. So these are all the cues I started learning in life as a kid. And as I started growing, this was the same way, by and large, people processed emotions. Probably here and there, one off cases, I would see somebody who is out of the blue in terms of how they respond. But otherwise, to a major extent, people respond to situations in a particular way. And that's the reason why, if you see two people having a heated argument, or two people in a situation where one guy is very angry, shouting, abusing, and the other person is very calm, chilled out, he's just listening to what the other person is telling, processing, and answering in a very calm way. And if someone sees this, their first reaction is, how is this guy able to be so calm when this guy is angry? So if you observe this pattern here, it's common that we are supposed to get angry when somebody is shouting at us. That's how we have programmed ourselves, and the entire society, probably, I won't say everyone, probably many of us process emotions this way. And that is the reason why it's a normal thing, and somebody who is calm is considered abnormal. Actually speaking, he's probably doing the right thing by not getting into the situation and connecting it with it emotionally. Probably he's trying to approach in a neutral way. He's approaching in a detached way, and that is special. So if we observe, by and large, since probably the time we started understanding things, we started getting to know about things, this is how we have understood about emotions. And that is why it's kind of a heavy topic, especially expression of emotion in a negative way is a heavy topic. And this is something I also was a part of the herd, and I also would get carried away by what exactly is happening. And I also used to feel, so if somebody insults me, I'm supposed to get angry, or I'm supposed to get frustrated, or I'm supposed to get irritated, or I'm supposed to fight back. Little did I realize that there are other ways to approach situations as well. We don't have to deeply get involved into the situation, and we don't have to deeply emote with it with a lot of emotions. There are other ways to deal with it. And probably that is what people who are like sages or saints, or people who are considered wise, have observed, understood, and they have changed their way of reactions, the way they react. So when it comes to this point where emotion is something which is very heavy, emotion is something which is probably a deep thing, and emotions are something okay. Uh, this is where the shift probably can start. We can start asking questions to see if there is any other way of approach, or is emotional approach the only way. Like, for example, I get a promotion, I'm supposed to be happy. Fair enough, let me be happy for that, because that's not causing any problem to me. I'm pretty happy about being happy. It's a good thing. I don't think anybody in this world will find happiness uncomfortable. Oh my God, I'm happy. I don't know why I'm happy. It comes out of a positive feeling, but not out of a feeling like, oh my God, why am I happy? I should not be happy. I don't think anybody does that. And even if somebody is doing, it's only because probably we have been told that happiness too much is not good. Again, that's what we have been programmed. So happiness is aside. We can leave happiness aside and we can keep it, park it, because that's a good feeling and we don't want to bother about good feeling. But the problem is where, I won't say problem, but the situation gets complicated when I start experiencing emotions which are kind of negative. and which I don't want to experience. Simple example, say I got angry and I blasted out, I shouted, and I came back. Maybe in that instant, I'll feel a big sigh of relief. But as time passes, I tell myself I shouldn't have done that. Probably I could have been a little calm. Probably I could have handled it better. So the relief is temporary, but the regret, kind of regret, stays. If you see, initially there was anger, that's a first layer. And on top of that, now I'm processing regret, which is a second layer. This is how we stack emotions. And now, what is this doing to me? I am probably not utilizing the entire time I'm angry and the entire time I'm feeling regret in an effective, optimal way. My engine is not running in fifth gear. My engine is probably running in first gear or second gear. Or to put it across, I can even say that engine is running with oil which is not properly changed or with handbrake on. So I am not optimal when I'm experiencing these emotions. Why is that? Now comes the question, what other way than Sam? You're talking about emotions a lot, and all these things are something which we already know. But come to the point where we can probably think different, think out of the box. And this is where, for the past 1 year, my journey of exploration has led me to explore another path which talks about separating the situation that we are experiencing from the emotion that is associated with the situation. Say, for example, somebody shouts at me. My immediate reaction, based on how I have grown since childhood, probably a default reaction for many other people, is anger. I'll be like, I get angry when somebody shouts at me. And I also express my anger. Now, so, what is the situation? Somebody is shouting at me. And what is my response? My reaction, emotion is anger. I also get angry. I also give it back, which is a good thing, maybe. Some people would agree. But do I want to react always in an angry way? Okay, one set is anger. What other emotions do we react with when somebody is shouting? Suppose I am not in a position of power. Suppose it's my boss and I can't retaliate back. Maybe I'll not shout, but in my mind, I feel sad. I feel hurt. Probably I feel uh, angry, but I don't express. These are the other ways I probably process. And again, that's not something good, something comfortable, which I would enjoy going ahead with. So, if you see, these are the default reactions that I am accustomed to, and I default to it. Now, what if I'm able to break this link, the link that exists between the situation and the emotional reaction? So, somebody is shouting at me, I get angry. This is the link that I've established. What if I'm able to break this? What if I'm able to slowly start detaching myself from the situation in a way I generally respond? What if I can change the way I respond? What if I can start building this awareness that a situation need not have this particular reaction? Like somebody shouting at me need not always have an anger reaction. Now you may say, what nonsense is this? How can somebody not be angry when somebody is shouting at me? I have a question here. Again, this is something I learned from my mentor. Suppose somebody is shouting. Is it a hard and fast rule that every person in this world has to react with anger itself? No, I don't see any rule written like that. Second, that's a rule theory. Let's come to practicality. Does everybody in this world react with anger when somebody is angry and shouting at us? I don't think so. Most of us, or majority of us, may react with anger. Some of us may take it internally and feel affected. We may get, we may feel sad, we may feel bad, but still, these are all negative emotions, so called negative emotions. But if you see, there are some people we might have come across, even if you're angry at them, they're calm. They are chilled out. They are like super cool dudes. Like they are from the Himalayas. That's how you probably feel when you see them, because they are not reacting to that particular anger. And this is where it gets interesting. There are some people who are at peace. There are some people who give back in a funny way, and there could be some people who are sarcastic. But if you see, probably these people are safeguarding their own internal state and probably just projecting something else outside. Probably they don't even bother. They are least bothered about the person who is getting angry on them. And that is very interesting. Probably we have not thought about this, not sat and processed this in a deeper extent. Now, the reaction that I give to a particular situation is something that I have built as my habit. Honestly speaking, it has nothing to do with the outside world, it's how I process inside. This is where emotional regulation comes into picture. What if we start feeling in a different way? What if we start experiencing emotions which are probably hacked, I would say? So if somebody is angry, I can link that anger with something else as my response. Probably I need to practice it, because I have always been someone since the time I got maturity and I started understanding emotions. I've been looking at anger as the response to anger. But what if I'm able to fix it? Now we may say, how can I fix it? It's not impossible. It is possible. But then we just need to be open to the possibility of something like this can happen. And that is where the change starts. So, cutting it short, what I just wanted to express today uh, in this particular video is that emotions are something which is our habits, which is our pattern, probably the way we respond, the way we react is just a habit that we have built, and that's not actually true. Because I'll just give another solid example which comes to my mind right now. If somebody says, how is it even possible, Sam? It's impossible. I can prove you wrong. So let's think you have your boss, sorry, you have a heated argument with your wife as a husband. And if it's a girl, with your, I would say, wife, you're having a heated argument. It's going out of control, shouting, complaining, throwing words at each other, and you're super angry. And instantly you get a call from your boss, and you know that the boss doesn't call you until and unless it's emergency. So you have to take this call. What do we generally do? Based on what I have seen, we're like, hey, hold on, my boss is calling. We say, we drop that anger there. In fact, we even take a few seconds to tell ourselves, calm down, calm down. This is a boss call. I need to take it. And instantly we are able to shift gears and calm ourselves down. And then we take the call and like, hey, hi, what's up? You called, anything important? And we have the conversation, we speak for a minute, and we disconnect the call. How is it that we were able to shift from a very angry state to an instant calm demeanor where the voice was really appropriate for the boss? How was it possible? Because the boss call is important and I cannot show my anger in front of my boss. That is the regulation that we have in our mind. We have this capacity, it's not something new. Only thing is, we don't consciously exercise it in other scenarios. Say, for example, at the same time, a friend of yours calls when you're having a heated argument. Would you probably receive the call? You may not even receive the call. You may just leave it. That's okay. Absolutely fine. But if he starts calling continuously, say he calls 3 times because he has an emergency, when I receive that call, if it's a close friend, I will project the same anger on him. I'll be like, why are you calling me again and again and again? I'm disconnecting the call. You should understand, right? And that is how we process, because that is the way we process it. So it's not difficult, it's not impossible, but it's just our choice, I would say. And this is something which is a serious food for thought. Just wanted to leave you all on this note. Uh, think over it, brood about it, and probably we can discuss about this. Leave some comments if you have some questions. I would love to answer them. Let's see how we can take this forward. Thank you all for joining. It was very nice. I feel very nice. This is my first live session. I had no idea that I'll be able to talk like this, and thank God I was able to, probably, I would say, a decent job in this session. We'll be doing this every day going forward. I was supposed to start on Monday, but I gave all the reasons in the world to extend it, and finally it happened today. And hopefully from today, from tomorrow, will be regular. It's on weekdays, Monday to Friday, 7:34 to 7:54, around 20 minutes. And I think we'll have a lot more topics and a lot more people joining us. Let's learn, let's explore, and let's grow. Thank you so much for joining. It was very nice. Until we meet again tomorrow, see you all. Take care. Love you. Bye bye.